Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
WWGF Radio is live and on the air. This is What's the Buzz, America's Best Podcast. I am Mad Dog Discipio, joined as I am each and every week, God help me, by Amelia the Pitbull Chapman. And tonight, in the hot seat, it's that bullshit with Rico and Stretch. Gentlemen, how the hell are you?
Doing all right. Doing okay. Trying to fight this heat, but outside of that, hey.
It's been good. A crazy week, my brothers. A crazy week. Before we get deep into the show tonight, your thoughts real quick. I know it's I'm going to ask Stretch first because I know if I start with Rico, we're going to be here all night. So let me ask.
I love you too, Angelo.
Brother, how long? We've known each other a long time. Mr. Kwiatkowski, my brother. Talk to me. This weekend in Pennsylvania. Some interesting happenings. It shook up the country. It shook up the world. Your thoughts, my friend?
Well, my thoughts are, we talked about this 3 or 4 months ago, that somebody's going to take a pop shot at him.
Yeah.
They couldn't get him out with 34 counts, 34 felony counts. You know, they thought that, taking him to court and putting all them charges on him would sway the public. So they went to the old school tactic. When we were coming up, if you weren't liked as a politician or a world leader or someone that could even do good for the country, they take you out. They just take you out by assassination. I mean, we grew up with that.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's funny? We talked about that last night when that was. No one would think twice, Joe, about taking out, President Kennedy. They took out his brother.
Yeah.
They took pop shots at, Menachem Begin, Yasser Arafat. A number of world leaders back in the day that were taken just indiscriminately at the hands of the quote lone gunman, and yet again we see a 20-year-old kid, barely got his nose wet in the world, and had his head blown off by a sniper shot. Ricky, your thoughts, my friend? A young kid taking a shot at the president.
Well, from what I gather, he was bullied in school. He was an outcast. Everybody picked on this kid. I don't think he's a lone wolf on this. I just can't believe that he's a lone wolf. You have to understand what everybody is saying that led up to this horrible event, okay, which is truly horrible. If it was Biden, I'd feel the same way. Sure. You're putting your life on the line, and you got a 20-year-old who knows nothing about life taking pop shots at you. I think that someone else is governing him in some type of way. But you got to understand this also.
Yeah.
Everybody that talks, Biden's talking about let's put a bullseye on him.
Yeah.
You got all of these movie stars. Madonna, I want to blow the White House up. Come on, if we would have said that back in the 70s, we would have been carted away, and they would have been interrogated the hell out of us.
Mm-hmm. I had this discussion, so help me. I had this discussion. If a celebrity says something, it's the way to go. Follow the leader. But if Stretch Kwiatkowski or Rico Style or Mad Dog DeCipio says something, brother, you and I are not in the jail. We're underneath the fucking jail.
Yeah, that's right. That's the truth.
We're underneath the fucking jail.
Yeah, that's the truth.
But if Madonna or George Clooney says it, because they're the elite,
it's golden. It's golden if they say it. And for these idiots that say just a centimeter.
Yeah.
And the one girl who said it had to be a white guy that missed. What? How racist can you be just by making that statement? Who said that? This white girl. She was being. She had her own camera going on, and she says, "That much they missed him by just by a centimeter." And we know it was a white guy because he missed. Meaning black guys are marksmen. Better shot, a marksman.
The interesting thing
why do you want to put color into it?
Well, the interesting thing about that, Ricky, is that at no time in American history has there ever been a black presidential assassin. Never. Not once.
Yeah.
Never happened in 245 years. Never. Not once.
Look, if you go down the line, Medgar Evers, back in the 60s, okay, here was a man, a family man, that all he wanted was his place under the sun. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. Just give me what belongs to me with my God-given civil rights. And they took that away from him. They took it away from Martin Luther King. They took it away from the Kennedys. They tried with who was it? Was it Ford? And then Reagan, right?
Yeah, they tried to. In fact, it was Charles Manson's follower Squeaky Fromm that took a shot at Gerald Ford.
Right.
John Hinckley, of course, took a shot at Ronald Reagan.
Right.
And now, again, another lone gunman. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If you believe for one moment that any of these people on their own got close enough to a former United States president or sitting United States president by themselves, you are out of your fucking mind. They had help. They had help. And I want to tell
there's so much video out. There's video out there of the guy climbing on the roof.
You're going to see it tonight. You're going to see it tonight. Stretch, I'm going to show you a video tonight that should scare you. I'm going to show you a video, Stretch and Ricky, that should scare you. It should put the fear of God into you.
They told the police, and they didn't really do anything. So
no, they didn't do anything. Here's what we're going to do. I am going to turn the show over to Amelia because this is her gig, and I'm going to just produce this tonight. So, without further ado, tonight I want the focus to be on the colossal lack of leadership and the catastrophic failure of the Secret Service. We really, really got to talk about that tonight, guys. We really got to talk about this colossal house of cards called the Secret Service that crumbled in on itself in one day. And by the way, just so you know, on that particular day, there were 3 Secret Service agents whose first day it was.
What?
The first day for 3 Secret Service. Yes. All 3 of them were female. All 3 were female. With no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Here is Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman, and Rico. And Stretch, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I have all bad light.
Hey, Amelia, how are you?
Hey, good, good. So, what did you want to talk about first? I'll let you guys start with that.
Well, you can narrate if you'd like.
Well, it just depends on like when he walked up on stage and everything, he started talking to everyone, and then of course, as you know, the president Trump, he likes to take his shoes off. Let's just make that one point. As you know, I didn't know if you knew that.
When he done what?
He likes to take his shoes off. That was like the main point, and get comfortable.
So he takes his shoes off before he gives speeches?
Yes.
He should learn to keep them on in case he's got to run.
To be honest with you, I think this is what saved his life. To be honest with you, I think.
Really?
Because if he had been a little bit taller and then he moved his head a little bit more, I think that shot would have been a little bit probably to his temple. We wouldn't have him here.
It would have been dead on.
Mm-hmm.
It would have came out of the back of his head.
Now, there's some stuff floating around on the internet and on the news, quite frankly, that was a setup by Trump himself.
Oh, really? You think so?
There's footage out there of a woman. I have it on my phone, actually. There's footage of a woman that was sitting behind him.
Yes.
And she gave sort of the signal, and then the guns were fired. They're kind of thinking that he had one of them Hollywood things that go pop, so the splatter of blood.
No, man.
And
oh my God.
I just want to jump in here real quick, Stretch. You're going to see that video tonight. I actually have that.
You got it, my man.
Yes,
I knew you would. I know you're on top of things.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull out
whenever you're ready to start showing the videos, we could do that, and then show.
And let's not forget that they also said that the Boston bombings was a false flag, also.
Yeah.
Okay. In other words, if Trump set that whole thing up to make it look like an assassination, it would boost him in the polls.
Yeah, well, that's stupid because
but
they're morons for even thinking about it, because there's a fallen, I would call him a fallen soldier. He was a firefighter. His family no longer has him. You can't stage that.
Yeah.
No.
And there's two other that were injured severely.
Yeah.
You cannot stage that.
No.
So, for these idiots to even think that.
It's out there. Now, when this first happened, that thought ran across my mind.
Right.
Either that the Democrats had something to do with it. They want him. They can't scandal him out, so they got to take him out the old-fashioned way, or that they set that whole thing up.
Yeah.
Now they've done the same thing, said the same thing at the Boston bombings, where the ambulance drivers were all fake, and they came out with the blood bags.
They found the one guy in the boat, in the motorboat.
I know. I know. I'm just saying.
I know. I got
it's out there,
Yeah. Sadly,
you decide.
Sadly, 2 people did lose their lives, and of course, the 3 people were injured, which is President Trump, and then,
What do you mean 2 people lost their lives? I thought it was only one.
No, well, of course, the sniper. Of course.
I don't even count him.
Yeah, well, sadly, unfortunately, and then of course the firefighter that protected his family, and then the 2 people in the hospital, and then Trump, of course, that is. But he showed up. He wanted to. They told him to go ahead and cancel. He said, "No, this is not going to stop me. I'm still going to go to my other rallies." And forgive me for my background here. We're having lights of thunder and lightning here, but he said, "I'm still going to the rally. I'm still going to be doing this. Nothing's going to stop me. I'm here. I'm going to do this." And as far as the rifle that he had, the AR-15, did you know that it could shoot up to 600 to 700 feet, but he was only like 150 feet away?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I have to correct
like,
Amelia. I have to make a correction because it's a logistical error. That rifle can shoot up to 700 yards, not
Yards.
feet.
Not feet. I'm sorry, I meant
Oh,
yards.
yeah. That's like
huge,
7 football fields.
Yeah, I meant
Exactly.
yards. I apologize.
It's 7 football fields
7
long.
football fields.
Now, like
with
I said,
accuracy.
if that was some kind of setup, if it was some kind of setup by the Republican Party,
right,
they actually used a real marksman, because a real marksman would know just how to nip your ear. But you would have to be like a guy standing out there with an apple on your head, with somebody shooting a bow and arrow at you. It's the same. It's the same effect, you know.
Yeah, but Trump would not go that far. I understand what you're saying, and you're playing devil's advocate here. But Trump, anybody that would go that far does not need. They don't need to be in office because they would think anybody's expendable at that point.
Rick, let me.
But I mean, that would be the only.
Let me interject something very important. And I think we have to say this for clarification and for accuracy. You're going to see photographs of the assassin or the alleged assassin. Then you're going to see the man on the roof.
Yes.
I challenge you to tell me that's the same person. I don't believe it's the same person. In fact, not only do I not believe it's the same person, I believe the person on the roof is wearing a wig and a fake beard and mustache.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you when we get to that point.
You want to go ahead and show the first video?
Great job, Amelia. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, here's that first one.
Yeah.
Okay, this is after, and this is the gentleman that lost his life, Corey. That's a firefighter.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
There you go. This woman here didn't flinch. She's got a camera out there, and she didn't even flinch.
No.
So what are you saying? You didn't even flinch.
You're hearing gunshots?
Yeah.
And you're not even flinching?
Yeah, they did not move. Correct.
Moving to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move. Up. Move. Go. Hawkeye's here. Hawkeye's here. Move to spare. Spare, get ready. We ready? Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move? We're clear. Let's move. We're clear. Come on.
Let me get my shoes.
Got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we got to move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Watch out.
And even the way they took him out was really messed up. Well, the back of his head was shown. I could have blew the back of his head off any time.
Yeah.
And the way they walked him out. Look, he's wide open. He's wide open for another bullet.
You got to understand one thing also about Trump. He's the kind of guy. First of all, he's arrogant. He's arrogant, and he really look. This was not a setup. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
This by no means was a setup. Not like that.
Yeah, and he wanted to make sure he told everybody he was okay, and they should have covered him up. You know, put everybody over him to where he couldn't even tell everybody if he was okay or not.
Yeah, because they had
that lady right there in the center, right there. That lady.
And where was she? She was bent down.
She was the Secret Service lady. That was her first day.
Yeah, and what did she do? She cowered.
Well, let's just say we're going to see probably footage of her not knowing where her holster was to put her gun.
Yeah, I saw that. She couldn't even find her holster.
Exactly. And it was her first day. on the job. There was just like a lot of chickens with their heads cut off working there that day.
Well, yeah.
Hmm.
But I still believe that there's someone else with this kid.
Yeah, come on, man. That kid, you know,
Somebody could have paid him. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to get into it too deep. But there are people out there paying these imbeciles to riot. You know, who purchased all the tents in these campuses? Where did all these tents pop up all at once in these college campuses? Okay, come on. They're crying because they don't have money to spend on tuition. They want to be exempt from their loans. They're not going to buy tents. Someone of a higher power bought those tents for them. Mm-hmm. Failure of the Secret Service. Yeah, it's a major failure. Are you out there, Amelia? That's him right there.
Yes, that's a picture. They say that is the shooter, Thomas Matthew.
How did they get so close to get that picture?
That's a picture from like either a Facebook page or your
on the rooftop. This is after.
I want to jump in here for a second, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see an important series of videos right now. In fact, we're right at the very first one. This is while he's still alive. This is allegedly Thomas Matthew Crooks, a 20-year-old, by all accounts, smart kid, but loner. A weird kid. They describe him, as classmates say he was weird, an oddball.
Mm-hmm.
But he was very good with a rifle. His father was an avid hunter. Interesting stretch, Enrico. Very interesting. You're going to see a video of Matthew Thomas Crooks saying that he hates Republicans and he hates Donald Trump. But guess what, my friends? Guess what? He's a registered Republican who gave money to the Republican Party.
No, to the Democratic Party.
No, sir, to the Republican Party. We have it.
Yeah.
Oh, he did?
Yes, sir.
Well, something is very wrong.
I thought he gave money to the Democratic.
That's what I thought. He gave it to the Democratic
donated like
Party.
$15 to the Democratic. Some kind. He's a Republican, but donated to the Democratic Party.
We checked it. We double checked it. We triple checked it. This guy was come from an avid red, white, and blue Republican family.
Okay.
Very, very odd. Let's watch it.
The Secret Service, it appears, has already shot and killed this person. They're down on that rooftop. That's where Elena Train is seeing that huge police presence right now. There's every law enforcement agency that you can imagine is at that scene trying to collect some of the evidence. She saw as well, Elena also saw an ambulance there. So it appears, again, as part of the crime scene investigation, all of that is being done.
Happened to our country, probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Wow.
I don't understand it. If I heard shots fired like that, I'd have been busting down.
Did you notice what happened at the beginning of the video,
FBI
though?
identified the gunman as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania.
He's a nerd.
They say he fired shots from outside the secure cordoned area of the rally, atop an elevated structure.
He started shooting. Bow, 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 bow. About 4 to 5 shots rang out.
Law enforcement converged on Crooks' family's suburban Pittsburgh home overnight.
They asked us to leave our house. They told us it was a state of emergency. No warning. They just knocked on the door in the middle of the night.
Officials say the gunman fired 6 to 8 rounds from an AR-15 assault rifle before he was shot and killed by a member of the Secret Service counter-assault team. The FBI called it, quote, surprising that he was able to fire at the stage before he was killed.
This is, without question, the most important interview. Again, we got this from BBC, a guy who witnessed the shooter scaling the roof.
Yeah.
And immediately alerted, pointed, said, hey, look, this guy's got a gun. Listen to this man's voice. Listen to the tenor, the tone of what he is saying here, and then ask yourself if you believe that this wasn't an inside job. Take a listen.
You're talking about the red-haired guy.
You weren't inside the event, but you were just outside. Tell us what you saw.
So we had a party here all day. You can see behind us at the Brinkles Farming Greenhouse here. We had a party. And we all decided, hey, you know, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees up there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally, right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up. And probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, you know. But we noticed the guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, you know, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. You know, he's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots rang out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police in the city.
Wow.
Wow. Unbelievable. Wasn't there a ladder involved?
I think it was already attached to the building already. Yes.
Was that attack? I thought somebody went to Home Depot and.
Yeah, no. We actually found out last night, Rico and Stretch. There is that building belonged to a glass manufacturing company called American Glass Resources. In the back of the building, they had an emergency work ladder attached to the building, as a lot of buildings do.
Okay.
For emergency access to the roof.
Right.
And so apparently that's how he got up. But here's the question that I have. The question that I asked last night, who cleared him? Who cleared him to go up?
Yeah, what was he even doing on that property, period?
What was that ladder even doing there? They should have taken that ladder away automatically.
Well, yeah,
that's
the security right there.
You and Amelia need to have that discussion. I'm going to get the hell out of here.
Well, let's do a commercial break first before we have that discussion.
Okay, then.
Jess wanted to start a business when something surprising happened.
Today, I'm going to teach you how to crochet.
She started crocheting, like a lot. And her friends noticed.
Jess, you need to sell those.
So she signed up for Shopify and started building her business.
Yes, I love that.
And after a lot of hard work, this happened.
Oh my gosh, I just made my first sale!
You see, every day, hundreds of businesses get their first sale on Shopify.
We got a ding!
And the next could be you. So when you're ready to bring your idea to life
and become your own boss,
build it on Shopify.
Check it out.
Introducing the new and improved taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar. Now more delicious. Zero never tasted so good. Try it now.
Hey, we're back. Okay. So also too, did you guys notice in the beginning of the video before the shots were fired how the Secret Service had moved some of the journalists, photographers out of the way?
Yeah.
Before and out of that clearance where the shots would have been were fired. How strange was that?
There is so much strange stuff going on within all that footage. It to me it looked like some kind of inside job. I mean, whether it was an inside job by the Republican Party or the Democrats wanted to get him out of there because they know they can't beat him.
But like you said earlier,
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say right now. It's going to come out in the wash though at one point or another.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like you said earlier, how many counts? 34 counts, and that didn't work. But before
the scandals,
you know, work. Here's the thing: before Trump even thought about throwing his hat into the ring, as they would say, everybody loved him. He was a great guy. Democrats loved him. Republicans loved him. Families loved him. They watched his TV show. They thought he was a great guy. And here we go. Now that he's running for office, way back in the beginning, did you see when he was first elected, the Democrats that were crying and going crazy? Look, you know as well as I do, if those fuckers were in our city acting like that, their asses would stay the fuck in. Yep, they would never leave the house.
Well, there was a question that popped up. Do you think who ordered the hit? The Secret Service or the White House?
I don't want to say. I know.
Well, let's go back. Let's not talk about now. Let's go back to JFK. The mafia and the CIA and everybody else was involved in that hit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were even doing stuff, you know, trying to get Castro out of Cuba back then, working with the mafia and working with these different
Sam Giancana.
Sam Giancana
were all over he opened up casinos.
Yeah.
So you know,
so it's like. It's whoever is over our government. See, everybody thinks the buck stops there. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. You know, there's people that are pulling strings that are higher than the government. A lot of people like to call them, you know, the Illuminati. But you know, it's
you know what?
Somebody definitely higher up.
You know what I'm waiting for? Look, I'm a Christian. I believe in treating you as fairly as you're going to treat me, and that's my motto. But I'm thinking that there's going to be another conspiracy theory out that these people that are like into the Revelation, into the end of the Bible, the end times. I'm wondering if people are going to say, he's the Antichrist. He got shot, he was wounded, and he rises up from the ashes like a god, in other words. And that's what Revelation reveals as the Antichrist, you know, prelude to the devil, to Satan himself. So, you know, I don't know how, you know, I don't think that way, but I know there's going to be a lot of people that are saying that, hey, this guy, he could be the Antichrist because he survived a head wound. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Trump is the answer.
I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying there are people out there.
I need to interject. They said the same thing, Ricky, about Pope John Paul II when he got shot in the head. They said the same. Oh, and by the way, they said the same thing about Adolf Hitler when he got shot.
Yeah.
Just to put a historical perspective on it so we understand where we're coming from.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, all I'm saying is,
but in the Bible says the Antichrist will rise from the east,
right? And people out there are really going to believe it.
Yeah,
you know, people are morons, man. Come on, would you have bought a pet rock back in the '70s? They did. That's what I'm saying. You put the rock on the table and you feed it, and you give it a freaking name.
Yeah,
and the rock does nothing but. It's a paperweight. That's all it is.
I wish I would have came up with the chia pet idea.
I think Doug got to you.
Doug got to me before that. His head.
That's a buddy of ours. He looked like a chia pet.
Let me ask you guys this: what about the people that said negative things about Trump, about that they wish that the sniper would not have missed? What do you think about that?
They're crazy. Yeah, but say that again.
Say it again.
The ladies, there's been more women that said that they wish the sniper would not have missed. What do you think about that?
Well, this is what I'm saying. There was a white girl, and I got to put color to it because that's what she was.
It was exactly true.
And she's getting frantic. She says, she starts out real light, and then she says, he was this fucking close. This close. Leave it to a fucking white guy who missed. Okay, so in other words, a black guy can shoot better than the fucking white guy. Give me a break, man. Why do you want to keep putting race into something that has nothing to actually do with it? We are the pawns right here. You, I, Angelo, Stretch. We're the pawns, okay? You have the bishops, you have the kings, the queens. I'm not too studied on chess, but you learn how to play the freaking game, okay? And this is what they're doing, and they have us in the middle. In the middle.
Yeah, because go ahead, Stretch. What do you think?
I really think we're screwed either way. Think about it. I mean, now the way things are going, this country is in trouble. We do not have a stable government. Okay, the government isn't stable. I don't think Donald Trump, I think he's the better of the two evils, but I don't think he can straighten this out either. I'm sorry. It's too far gone.
I don't think he can either.
It's too far gone. We're in trouble. We're in trouble as a nation. We're in trouble.
It's.
Do you guys know that the United States of America was designed to fail? Do you know that?
How so?
It was designed. Think about what the word democracy means. The word democracy means rule by one.
Yes.
Okay. The word demos means one. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
And autocracy is from the Greek.
Yeah, exactly.
People. One person ruling the people.
Out of many, one.
Yes. And that in and of itself is a catastrophic way to run a government. A government can never be run by one person, as we've seen time and time again throughout history. This is why the president has a vice president. The vice president has a secretary of state, a speaker of the House, and so on and so forth. And there's 9 people in line of succession. Now,
our country has been set up as a corporation. Our country is actually a corporation.
It's capitalism.
Yeah.
But the problem is it wasn't set up that way. It needs to be set up that way, like a business. If we run it like a business, then Donald Trump is in his element, Stretch, because he's a businessman.
Of course.
But
see, they
on the
want to
other
turn it
hand,
into a banana republic.
it's never been run like a business, and that's why it's a colossal failure. And it will continue. This country will continue to spiral downward because it was designed, it was set up to fail. People don't understand the fucking fundamental basics of democracy.
Stretch and I
It's a failed system. It doesn't work.
It never has worked. You take it back.
You're absolutely right. It's never worked, Rick.
It has never. It worked for the few, and that's all. It worked for the few.
Worked for those, and I want to tell you something, my friend. You know who it worked for? People like Donald Trump who have money.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's who it worked for. People who have money.
Yeah, and smart.
Like Stretch said, we're fucked.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it. That's one word.
We're screwed, man. I mean, we're screwed. We're screwed big time. No matter how you look at it. Yeah. Like I was talking to someone the other day, and I told them, you know, you really don't know what it is to have millions of dollars. So the moment, let's say you hit the lottery, or you got an inheritance, that would automatically put you in the $1 million club.
Yes.
Automatically. Okay. You would be hanging around people that you've never dreamed about hanging around before.
Mm-hmm.
You would probably even been to Epstein's Island. What do you think?
Well, I think you're right. Yeah.
Sure. Well, hey, when you're in the club,
you're in the club.
You're in the club.
It's just that.
Okay.
Well,
and it's just that simple.
Well,
millionaires hang in circles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they really do. Millionaires and billionaires. They're especially the ones out in New York. In New York, all that everybody knows everybody. Mm-hmm. I hate to mention the name, Robert Kahn.
Oh yeah, well, you shouldn't mention it.
I mean, I know that
Robert Kahn.
Oh, okay,
this guy was a Wall Street broker. He had controlling interest of Kellogg's Corn.
I know what the controlling interest with the Secret
we're
Service.
Getting off subject. Hold on a minute, Amelia. Mm-hmm. We're getting off subject, guys. We're going down a rabbit hole. I don't want to go there.
Yeah,
I don't want to go down a rabbit hole. I'm just saying that
Trump, and I want to stay. I want to stay with the Secret Service right now.
Yeah, I was going to tell him with the Secret Service not taking control, though. I mean, a lot of them was the first day on the job, and the Secret Service, I think they're the ones that wanted to hit on Trump.
Well, a sneak attack is a sneak attack. They didn't take control on Kennedy either. Okay, Kennedy had the Secret Service flanked around him. One in the back, two on the side. A sneak attack is a sneak attack.
And how many shooters were there?
Well, supposedly with Kennedy, 3.
Yeah.
But they blamed Lee Harvey Oswald as a single assassin. When you look at that footage, he gets hit in the front, he goes forward, the front bullet hits him here, and he goes backward and took his head right off.
We had footage that, as you were talking about, in the footage that we have, there's 2 people in the audience that did not even really move when the shots were fired. And I know
there were people sitting there like it was a walk in the park. And when I see a woman, there's gunshots being fired. A woman didn't flinch. Something's really, really messed up with that.
Also,
I'll show you now. You know,
well, you got to look at it this way. Some people just freeze.
No, this is what the woman
You're
done.
gonna want to move. You're gonna want to move. You're gonna want to take cover.
She sat there. Trump looked to the side like this. She looked to the same side with Trump. She went like this. Tapped her head. Took a card, put it up to her, took that Trump rally card.
Yeah, I saw.
Put it up to her face, That's when when the bullet rang out, she put the Trump card down, picked up her cell phone, and was just filming.
And she started filming
I saw
exactly.
that.
I'm like,
Right in front of the podium. I
this
saw
woman,
that.
who is this woman?
We have a video.
Been a reporter.
Let's
Or she
talk
could
about
have
this.
got inside of. How many times were we shot at? Seriously.
Yeah.
No, we have a we were shot at.
We have a video
the only insider I had was ducking under a Cadillac.
we have a video that I want to show you guys. It's the man in the hat video. Let's watch this.
And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look what happened.
Why are these people so calm?
Look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Watch it. Look at this crap. Look at that crap, man. Get the fuck out of here. That bullet is moving by her, too. Wouldn't have been me.
Move his spear. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move.
My people are too calm, man. Fuck me, right. I don't think it's a conspiracy of some guys. I don't conspiracy of somewhere.
Okay, we are watching live at around.
It may not be that. You know, it may not be.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened. If you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
He's not even phased.
That's the
Okay.
Secret Service event.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Is that the one that tried to holster her weapon?
She was getting up. Yeah, she's lucky.
First day on the job, and she was at his waistline.
His head is wide open. And anybody could have popped him again in the head.
Again.
Because, I mean, nobody knew. There could have been 2-3 shooters.
Woman is lucky to have a job.
Do you notice that she was also wearing a bulletproof vest?
Well, yeah, they all do, but
Every one of them. See,
yeah, they all do.
Stretch, Amelia is under the impression, I don't know where she heard it, but Amelia is under the impression that Secret Service doesn't wear Kevlar vests.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Every one of them do. Absolutely.
Yes, they do. Yes. Their job is to become the target. Okay. To deflect.
Yeah. This is her first job ever as being Secret Service. She's never ever had a Secret Service job or any security.
So what does
job.
that tell you? And they put her in the position of one of the most powerful men in the world. Okay. What does that tell you?
Yeah, exactly. What does that tell you? It's ridiculous.
Here's another thing. In the very beginning, when the guy with the red hair was talking about he's on that roof, and I hear the women hollering out, he's on the, and you can see him laying there, blatantly laying there, and the cops they have their hands in their pockets playing pocketball.
Yeah.
They don't know which way to go, and I don't think they didn't know which way to go.
Yeah, that woman looked like she was almost getting ready to shoot herself in the foot trying to holster that gun.
Yeah, she didn't know what she was doing.
Yeah, and that man that they had circled, did you recognize who that man was in the beginning of the video?
Who was it?
Who was that?
Vincent Fusca. He's always attending Trump's rallies.
Who was it?
Vincent Fusca.
Vincent Fusca.
Fusca. Fusca.
Okay.
Fusca.
Yeah.
What significance are you?
JFK Jr.
What are you saying?
They're saying that he might be
John
JFK
Denver?
Jr. or John Denver, but maybe JFK Jr.
You are all incorrect. But you're on the right path.
Oh my God,
so you got
man.
to do some digging.
Mm-hmm.
Digging.
Why didn't the CIA
Turn
just snatch
over.
his ass up
Stone.
and put him under one of those hot
It's too
lights?
heavy for other people to lift.
What did he say he was?
Get on that place and play on the DW. It's finna get crazy.
It's already there.
I don't think I really want to see him breathing down my neck right now like that. So stay in my lane. I just wanted to know, did anybody recognize the yellow rag? If y'all connect,
you lost me there. What's going on?
And what it stood for, you'll find out who that was. Vincent?
Right there. Okay, so they're saying he might be John Denver.
Or
Vincent Fusca.
Do you guys know the story of Vincent Fusca? Let me give you a heads up.
Yeah,
Vincent
please.
Fusca,
they came out during the video.
Hold on, and I'm going because you're going to love this one, especially you, Ricky. Because you're a conspiracy kook like I am. You're going to love this. They're saying that, first of all, Vincent Fusca is his real name. That's what he goes by.
Okay.
He started an organization and a movement around the world called QAnon.
Okay.
That's him. You're looking at him. That's the man.
Mm-hmm.
But the darker story behind him is people believe Vincent Fusca is actually John F. Kennedy Jr. And the woman you saw with circled in that other video, is his wife. And if you look at the picture of JFK Jr. and his wife pre-airplane crash, and look at them now, it's a really tough argument to beat. Because they look like they could have aged perfectly. It's a scary thought. I shudder to think, but it is clearly food for thought. Take a look
what would
at the
reason be?
video, you guys.
Sat behind Trump at the shooting.
And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something you said, take a look what happened.
You know what? You put it right.
What is he saying?
Has anyone else noticed besides me, and maybe it's just me, Stretch and Rico, maybe it's just me, but I want you to think about something. A former United States president is standing in front of you, literally feet in front of you. And he has no Secret Service protection behind him, only on the sides, flanked to the left and to the right. Bear with me a minute, because you'll understand where I'm going with it. A guy pops a gun. Okay. He hits his ear. Sadly, a guy behind the president was hit in the head and died. Not one person in that 350 people up on the stage, all invited guests, by the way, not one of them attempted to run. Not one of those invited guests attempted to flee.
Attempted to run. You're right.
They stayed there. And two of them were so calm as if they were, quote, follow me, Stretch, quote, in on it, unquote.
Right.
All right?
Right.
Now, you're going to see something that it's a head scratcher. Just bear with me, guys. Just bear with me. Watch this.
Oh, ain't crazy. Red pill poppin', swerving in the Trump. Republican 4G, Antifa knows what's up. Red, white, and blue, MAGA nation, throw it up. Black, white, and brown, all about the Trump. Democrat party gon' take your freedom. Indicting our president cause they can't beat.
Right there. What do you think he did right there?
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Did you see it? What am I looking at, fellas? What do you think I'm looking at?
Yeah.
Very, very subtle. Very, very subtle. You guys are musicians, so you know the subtlety of the chord change, right?
Yeah.
Follow my thinking, Stretch and Rico. Follow my thinking. Vincent Fusca, in his pocket, had a yellow rag. You heard Clarence, my friend, the black man, talk about the history of the yellow rag.
The yellow rag, yes.
What yellow rag means? A white rag means surrender.
Yeah.
A yellow rag means never surrender.
Well, okay.
But here's the interesting thing about that yellow rag. Look at Vincent Fusco's pocket. It comes out little by little by little to the point where it's literally the whole rag is hanging over his pocket.
Right.
And it doesn't fall out. And there's a reason it doesn't fall out. Because it's sewn into that pocket. I know that actually, and I cannot tell you why I know that.
Okay.
That's all I can say. But watch this. Continue to watch. It's absolutely remarkable when you think of the symbolism that you're looking at.
Right.
And it's a bit, quite frankly, you guys, it's a bit unnerving too, if you understand what I'm saying about that.
Well, of course, yeah. Maybe he's just very stoic. Do you know?
Yeah.
Maybe he's a gladiator like Trump.
Well, I'll tell you what. You got to kind of really give it to the guy for being there. Check this out.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey you, do you need a place to stay? Well, tell your friends and family to come on up my way. Wouldn't trade it so much better than a home that's on the streets, where veterans are pushed aside and have no place to sleep. There's a piece of land where I was born, it's called the USA, where all my rights are being torn more and more each day. Well, come on through, they promise you that you can call it home. and sweat just to hold my own. Hey you, do you need a place to hide? Well, come on in, yeah, come on in. The gates are open wide. If you're on the run, you can grab a gun and blend in with the crowd, where all is good in the neighborhood, except for you and I, where freebies are for everyone and nothing left for me. And I'll question till my mind goes numb if I was ever free. Please don't get me wrong, my friends. All I'm trying to say is to do it right. Please do it right before you come my way. What about our own? What about the cold and hungry? What about our homeless on the streets? What about our children? What about the elderly? What about our nation's families?
You missed it, bitch.
I love that at the end, right?
You missed, bitch. What do you think about it, Chef? What do you think about the video?
That's cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was great. Thank you, Mad Dog, for putting that together. That was fantastic. But if you notice,
I think he needs to put in. I think he needs to put in from all angles that are rushing the borders from all ends, not just one set of people. There's multitudes that's coming over, and I don't want people to get the wrong idea that we are being racist. It's not even about that. The simple fact of the matter is, it's about come over the way our families came over, you know, with the papers, where Ellis Island, where you're damn near interrogated. And if you didn't meet the qualifications, your ass was going back to Europe or wherever.
Right.
So, you know.
We have somebody in the chat said that all people in the crowd did not move. Very odd.
It is odd. You know what? You know what I think about that? I think that Trump had to have the crowd so hyped, so hyped, and so hyped and so serene at the same time. That feeling of unity, that when he did get clipped in his ear, they said, "You know what? Fuck it."
Yeah, but you got one guy that died, got his head blown off, and two other people that are critical.
Right. And hi, Iron Paul. Thank you for joining us. He has a comment. He says, "Looks like the guy in the hat made a hand gesture with the rag, the yellow rag."
Yeah, also. He did. Yeah. There's some stuff going on in there. I'm telling you.
So let me ask you this: What do you think? 99.9% of that crowd was paid to sit there. Is that what you say? I mean,
let's say this. If the Republican Party put that together, the people that were invited, which are them people that are sitting in the back, they got a special guest pass to get in to sit behind them. Yeah, they knew. They knew. That's all I'm telling you.
I don't think
the only reason why that could have been done is because of votes. Now, when we talk about the sacrificial lambs that were sacrificed that day,
were the pawns.
Yeah, they're the pawns.
We are the pawns in this game of chess.
It's a game.
Okay? Listen, between Biden and Trump, all this is, I don't give a damn how many times Trump gets on the air or The View gets on the air and says, well, you know, we need to cool it down a little bit. No, fucker, you're the one that said put a bullseye on.
I think that he did do I think that he did do a hand gesture, because a lot of people are saying that also he could have been, maybe, quote, allegedly, maybe he could have been a Secret Service hidden in the crowd too, because we don't know.
Nobody knows.
Yeah,
That's why they're all theories, because nobody knows.
I can tell you, as a matter of protocol, I mentioned it a few times on the show this week and several other times. I have a cousin that was in the Secret Service and still is. And I can't tell you much other than there is a protocol in place that there are people in the audience. There are people walking around that look like you and I with plain clothes. They are, all of them are armed. They all have communication devices. They can talk. They have a pair of glasses like I do with a camera in it. You'll never even know it. But the technology that the Secret Service engages is absolutely state of the art. So you better believe that there were many, many eyeballs on that rally that day. The other thing you better believe is that every piece of film, every video, and every picture that was ever taken that day is going to make its way to the public. I assure you of that, because we're seeing something happening on an unprecedented level that's never happened before. Stretch and Rico, the FBI was asking people for their videos.
Yes.
They've never done that before.
Yeah.
They were asking people, send us your video of that day.
They're trying to put the piece together.
Yeah, upload your videos to our website, fbi.gov. And they had something like in the neighborhood of 150,000 pictures and videos from the 46,000 people that were there that day. And that's how many people the final count was. There were 46,000 people in Butler, Pennsylvania, a town of 7,000.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Absolutely, sir.
Out of that 46,000 attendees, where were all the lefties? Why weren't there any protesting going on? Because usually in a rally like that, you're going to have the opposition that's going to stand up face to face with you and just.
I have an answer for you.
Good point.
The protest area was a mile away in a gated. They had their own gated area. They weren't allowed any. There's two reasons why they weren't allowed. Number one, it was a secured perimeter. Number two, it was private property. It was owned by a woman who owned.
I have to negate that. And let me tell you why. Not to cut you off, Angelo.
Yep.
If it was a secured area, nobody would have been shot. Nobody.
Well, that's why we asked the question earlier in the show, was it an inside job? Because, Rick, if it was if in fact it was an inside job, well, the whole purpose of an inside job is you got somebody on the inside. That's the whole nuts and bolts about that.
Yeah.
And the question that we asked, Amelia asked earlier, how did he get on the roof? Who cleared him to get on the roof? We know the answer to that. The security guard at the glass factory gave him the okay. We found that out last night.
Yeah, and he
What happened to the yo-yo?
Say again?
What happened to that yo-yo? Does he still have his job?
He still has a job, brother. Yeah.
What? Dude, there is some screwy shit going on with that assassination. This is worse than the job.
That yo-yo has a job, but the Secret Service agent that fired the kill shot was fired because he broke protocol. What did he do so grievous that broke protocol? I will tell you. He told the public it was him. You never do that. You never divulge the kill shot. I'll give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about. If you're on the death mile and you're coming up for execution by firing squad, okay?
Right.
There's 10 riflemen. One rifleman has the kill bullet.
The kill shot,
are blanks. Okay? Why do they do that? So that you don't live with the guilt of having killed somebody.
Of course, yes. But
so
it also
nobody knows, Rick, who it was. But that yin yang was fired, and rightly so. He was fired for saying, "I'm the guy who killed Thomas Matthew Crooks." Fuck. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Well, he's going to write a book. That's what's going to happen.
Now, brother, I got news for you. He's not allowed to. That's against their protocol. He can't do that. Not for at least a year, anyway.
Wow.
Well, he can say he can sit back.
Coming up.
Well, tomorrow, why don't you tell everybody what you have tomorrow? Is some exciting
tomorrow,
news.
I got a great show tomorrow night. I have Hollywood royalty tomorrow night. The man, the producer, the guy who created and produced Rowan and Martin's Laughing, along with some 123 television specials, including Elvis in concert, Frank Sinatra's 80th birthday party, Liza with a Z. It worked with everybody from Judy Garland to Tiny Tim to Eminem, and still working with the biggest names in show business. His name is George Slaughter. He is 95 years old, and he is the king of Hollywood television.
95 years old.
Here tomorrow night, live and in person. Joining me on that show will be Tiny Tim's manager, my very dear friend of some years, Mr. Stephen M. Plim. The M stands for money. And Amelia will be joining me after that show to see if we did okay.
Oh, he's saying, yeah, I did great.
All right. So now
I'm
going to come out here, Amelia, and let you and the boys take us home, okay?
All righty. Okay. So we'll be joining. I guess next week we'll have another show of That's Bullshit. We'll discuss anything and everything the guys want to talk about, because anything goes, right, guys?
That's right. Everything goes. Yeah, definitely.
Everything. And then we'll be next week. We'll bring you another show of WWTF Radio. What's the Buzz Podcast? Let's see if I get this right, because we have all out here. Oh, who wrote the Bible? We're going to be talking about that on Monday, the 22nd.
Who wrote the Bible? Okay.
Who wrote the Bible? And then on the 23rd, we'll be talking about, was Jesus a real person, and is there a God? We're going to be talking about that on the 23rd.
Wow.
So
I will tell everyone we will be joined by religious and Bible scholar Mike Lynch. Will join us. I would like to extend the invitation to Stretch and Rico. If you would like to join us for that show, you are more than welcome to be my guest for that show.
Yeah, but I would have to sit back and listen, because I'm not a theologian.
You don't have to be. I got news for you, brother. Some of the best questions come from non-believers.
Well, I believe. I'm just not a theologian. I read the Bible. Okay. Yeah. Because I got so many questions.
Yeah, of course.
That need to be answered, So
a lot of people have a lot of, even I did. I mean, I've changed religion so many times. I've had questions about, I've not gone to church because of the certain pastor back in Texas. And thank you, Pastor Steve, for opening my eyes. And thank you, Mad Dog, for opening my eyes as well. And also, before we go,
I guess we'll save that for next for that topic.
Absolutely. Before we go, I want to we're going to run some credits. If you need any help, if you with if you're in alcohol, if you're on drugs, need help with, we're going to give you some numbers before we close out the show. Please look at these numbers, write them down. If you have somebody that's needing help, please jot them down. Contact us on the show. What's the Buzz Podcast at gmail.com. Please let us know. We'll give you the numbers as well. Other than that, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.